Hello, friend. I have put a blanket on my counter because we're going to play with some tea for two. And I'll show you some of my teapots and teacups. I don't know if I've shown these before. If I have, it's been many years. And I've got my blanket on here because it's just too loud if I put it right on the counter. So there will probably be specks of dust or lint in the air that will land. That's the downside, but at least the distraction of sound will be reasonable, I hope. All right, I'm just pulling in tea sets. So this is my autumn tea set. And this is the teapot. And I'll just kind of play with them in front of the camera. Okay? So, let's see. It says pepper tree teawares, fine porcelain, dishwasher safe, made in China. You can see that there's a pretty fall pattern on here. Pine cones, acorns, cranberries, with a pretty scalloped gold leaf edge. And if you don't know about gold leaf edging, this one has it. The gold leaf paint or coating on the edges and on the handle and on the foot of the cup. And you should never put gold-leafed items in the dishwasher because the heat and the chemicals interact and fade the gold leaf. So it's best to wash them in the dishwasher. And I can hear my fridge in the background. It's kind of loud, so I hope you can hear this okay. There will likely be cuts and fades as I try to minimize the clinking if it gets too loud. But I love the little subtle scalloped edge. And for those of you who have been with me for a long time, the fridge stopped for a moment. I was going to open up a tea house just about sometime during that 2008 crash, and I took out a second mortgage on the house that I was going to do it with, and anyway, ended up being a not good time and not good choice for the time, unfortunately, and I lost quite a bit of money. Well, for me, quite a bit of money. But I got to go and study tea. I got a little bit of tea certification. You can get pretty involved with it. Down in Las Vegas. And I think it was black teas, level 1 and 2. I think they go up to level 5 just for black tea. But I just really enjoyed it. I got to learn a lot. Oh, now I can hear a leaf blower going, so I'll tell you what, I don't always have the best luck. I may film some of this at another time, we'll see. So this is the tea pot that it goes in. You can see it has a little bit of the filtering holes inside by the spout. But I would probably always use some mesh if I were to do loose leaf tea in a pot like this. And it has some pretty little dashed, painted gold leaf and stripe. And it's just a perfect autumn tea for two. If I have folks over to tea, I usually have a couple of pots out and I let them choose their cups. I have lots of little teacups, both that are more, I would say UK or British influenced, and some that are more Asian or Japanese influenced. And that little top could use a shine. So there's my first teapot. All those gorgeous autumn colors. So in this, I would probably serve more of a rooibos tea, one that had, some pumpkin-y spices in it, or a chai. All right, I'm going to take a little break and hope the sounds calm down. Okay, location number 2. We'll see how this works. Now this is this I got for the tea house at some antique or vintage shop. And it's got 2 layers. And my sister kept it for me, my oldest sister, when I moved to Washington. And she is an interior designer, and she told me that originally this little worn-off stripes, these worn-off stripes, I should say, used to be gold. So again, that gold leaf, but it's worn off, and I love the look of it. And someday I'll give it a nice finish because it's pretty worn with all the passing back and forth, but I really love it. And this new place, it absolutely fits in with this huge entertainment center. Is not built in, but I think they had it custom made. I'm renting this basement apartment, and it came with it. But it's been kind of fun because I'm not using it in a traditional way, but I can put my tea things out, and I've never been able to put them all out. And after this move, I plan to give most of it away. Okay, so this is a set that I got again once upon a time for the tea house, and I just thought it was beautiful. This one I think I've only used once for practical purposes, but it's got this fun bamboo cut. If you could see, it drops in. It's not embossed above, it's cut into it. But I love the pattern. There's a little texture there I might play with. And it has 2 cups and a teapot. And I'll show you the teapot here in a second. But it's just a pretty little set. I love the bamboo handles. And I just got this at Target. Backed, on the bottom you can see. Maybe in reverse in the camera, I don't know. But it's just one of their home set stoneware. Not dishwasher safe, I imagine, with those handles. It isn't. And then here's the cute little teapot. It's a kind of a noisy lid. I'll pull that out for a moment. And, it looks like it's cracked all around inside, so I would definitely not want to use it. I don't know if you can see that. It's actually beautiful looking, but it's cracked all the way through. So I don't know if that happened when I put hot water in it at some point. Looks like it's a little dusty too. And it has this wonderful handle, bamboo. and wrapped with some kind of a wicker wood. And again, that pretty bamboo leaf pattern. And everything's pretty square geometric on this one, even the spout has a little square. So that is my tea for two bamboo set. Okay, this is a gift that I was given by a friend of mine who is from China. So it says Mira Designs by FMC. And we'll open this and we'll look at what's inside. Teapots and cups. This one's more like a tea for four. It's got a bamboo handle and cups. I've not used this. It's one of those things that for some reason when it's a gift it feels precious and I don't want to use it for some reason. This one has these interesting little yellow nub dots. I don't know if you can see, but those are raised. It's kind of a fun little texture addition, and it looks like in the glazing process there's some little dots in the bottom. That's not dirt, that's part of the glazing. These pretty flower patterns. I'll pull out each one in case they're different. We'll find out. That one looks the same. Pink flower on one side. Blue on the other. Sometimes the rims will still be the clear or the neutral ceramic color and the paint is just on the outside, and sometimes it's on the lid, or excuse me, sometimes it's on the rim. All right. Looks like all four are the same, so I won't pull out the other one. But I'll pull out the teapot here in a minute. It's got a little tiny foot on the bottom. I think that's called a foot. I just started taking a pottery class, and just barely. And I don't know if I'll have the patience for it on top of doing all of my felted wool paintings, but I might. But I learned that that was called the foot. I haven't used the wheel yet, just have been doing pinch pots. I get to see them fired sometime this week and maybe paint them. Let's see, I'll put these in here. And then we'll pull out the teapot. Is wrapped with copper wire and is bent bamboo to this pretty little handle shape. And I'm not going to put this in, but you can see how it works. Bent it into shape. But because I'm going to put it back in the box, oh, interesting, kind of catches it that way. That's nice. see even inside the box. The little steam vent, can you see that inside? Little vent. Oh, this one has a mesh infuser inside. We'll play with that. And again, it has these wonderful yellow nubs. I like that there's different patterns on the petals. Didn't notice that on the cups. It's not on the pink, but it is on the blue. Very fun. And a pretty shaped spout, kind of an oval. That helps with the dripping. Oops. And I'll set this inside and kind of play with that mesh, see if I can get some sounds from scratching that. It's always nice to see a fresh, clean mesh, brand new. Yeah, I was really into tea for a while. Into baking scones. I had a good scone recipe. Mine were a little more, I did a blueberry scone with a lemon or an orange frosting, zest, and I think they were quite good. Every once in a while I'll still make them. And I love to make, well, I don't love to make clotted cream. I love to eat fresh clotted cream. Sometimes, you know, they'll have that little, there's probably a name for it, but there'll be a little ceramic piece that helps keep the lid on. But so far, none of these pots have had that. Cute little tiny flowers painted on top. You can see those. Okay, this is my very favorite, and I probably have shown it before, but I used to have a collection of these because I was going to sell this specific type of teapot, and it is made with a special kind of clay from, I think it's from the Yixing province. I wonder if I have that on here. I think it's Yixing, so I'm sure I'm saying that wrong. Sorry, there you go. It's got the stamp in it, but it's made from a special place in China, and looks like that's going to come off, so I'm going to save that. But this particular one is made from this dark clay, and they have 3 colors in this Yixing. I know I'm not saying that right. They have 3 colors of clay: yellow, terracotta, that terracotta red, and then this kind of black or purple black clay. And what's special, there's a few things that are special about it. First of all, look how very fine that is. And they're handmade. And this type of clay fires at a very exact, I don't know all these terms, but it doesn't shrink in the firing. So it's just fired. It's not coated with any kind of a paint. But the lid's therefore, and I'll bet this has one of those lids. Yeah, there you go. It has that little piece that fits in and holds it tight. And it's very exact in terms of the firing. It doesn't shrink, it doesn't warp. And I don't know how they fire them. There's probably some special way that they do it, or temperature, I don't know. But it gives them the opportunity to really create some beautiful, smooth shapes. Very refined. And these kind of teapots, you're not supposed to wash them with soap and water. You're just supposed to rinse them out. I don't use this one because I just love this too much. But you rinse them with hot water, and they're supposed to kind of get seasoned and take on the taste of the different kinds of tea over time. Look how beautiful that is. Just this very sleek, clean look. And this one is called Black Swan. And it really does, to me, look like a black swan with two little babies floating after it. Just a very delicate teapot. So I guess as it seasons, the tea, every pot of tea after is supposed to taste better and better because it's been seasoned. That's one of the special qualities of this type of pottery. Look how beautiful that little handle on that lid is. So pretty. Okay. Black Swan. This is, I think it's called the Bee House. Let me put on my glasses. I have 8 of these cups, and I did an unboxing or something with them once upon a time. Yeah, Bee House, made in Japan. And they come in the most beautiful colors. And they're that very tiny, or I should say, a finer edge. And I love to sip tea out of a teacup that has that thinner edge, that more porcelain edge. Fine, because it just somehow makes the tea taste a little nicer. In the mornings I have tea with, like stevia, which I know is awful for some, but I have to kind of watch my sugar at least a little bit. And so I'll have tea with that and either milk or almond milk. And I have that in a mug. Maybe someday I'll pull out my mugs. They're not all that unique, but something to play with. And so these come in so many colors. I originally purchased these to sell at the tea house. There's kind of a banana yellow. I don't know if that's showing up properly in this lighting, but there you go. And they stack nicely. And then they have, this is a Hues and Brews teapot. And I think they go nicely with the Bee House. I think Bee House makes their own too, so I'm not sure how I ended up with this different one, but I like the shape of it a lot. And they have little infusers too. I know I'm missing one on one of my teapots, but these I have used. It's pretty clean inside, thankfully, but yeah, there's the infusers. So you can do your loose leaf tea in these, which is really nice. So if I'm having company, you can see it has a little built-in clamp. Can you see that? And that lets it attach and stay. I'll move my hand out of the way there. I think this one needs to be cleaned a little on top. I don't know that I've washed these since the move, but I like this because you can just flip the lid open and put in your loose tea and then steep it. And then really you should remove the tea when you steep it to the proper time. Nobody does, but you really should because it gets more bitter over time. So there's that one, and I've got one other. Actually, I've got two others of these Hues and Brews I'll show you. Here's another Hues and Brews in this fun sunflower yellow, this golden, deep golden yellow. Looks like it's coming off a little brighter in the yellow in the camera, but it's really right on that edge of almost starting to turn into an orange color. And again, the flip lid. And here's a couple of cups, a couple more cups that I would use with it. These are little brighter colors. You can see those, kind of a coral. I have such a hard time with getting my color right in the camera, and so I looked some things up on YouTube and reset it, but now it looks like it's removed a lot of the color. However, sometimes that's better than when it makes everything green for a while there. Okay, very last teapot. It's another Hues and Brews, and I use this one a lot. Again, I love the shape. And the little spout has that little tip on it that keeps it from spilling as much. I'll show that to you a little closer. There we go. And I use this one for my iced tea. So my favorite iced tea in the summer is that Tazo, T-A-Z-O, passion tea. You can get it at Starbucks, but I like to buy it and steep it. And then I'll throw in just one packet of stevia so that you almost can't tell that it's got any sweetener. And then I drink it in the summer, and it has lots of spices. Well, I don't know if it has lots of spices, but it has spices in it that work so well with the hibiscus. Like, I don't always like hibiscus teas. They're just a little too tart for me. But somehow passion has a good blend, and I like it. So I'll put it inside of here. Sometimes the tea bags I just set in there and set this on it. I find that these pour better. That does have some watermarks, sorry. But I find that these pour better even if I haven't put loose tea in. If that infuser's in there, it just seems to make these vases pour better. So there we go. I'm so glad you stopped by for a little tea. And we'll pretend to pour you a cup. And I hope you're well, my friends.